Hey, Chrissy here. I am a landscape architect and the owner of Kismet Design. I am a very process-driven designer, and I love sharing what I do and how I do it with anyone who's interested. Reaching your true potential and achieving your own personal goals will not happen by chance. You have to set your intentions, make a plan, and do the work. Thank you for joining me to nerd out on design. Don't forget to subscribe and to share too. Let's create something great together. As a designer, the presentation is just as important, if not more, than the ideas themselves. Don't get me wrong, the ideas do really matter. But you can generate absorbent amounts of fabulous ideas, but if you're not able to communicate the vision, they will rarely be implemented. From my earliest days learning technical drafting as a teenager, it has been instilled in me how important the quality of your deliverables are. And that is just as true today as it was then. Even much of my focus of my education in college revolved around honing both verbal and written presentation skills. As we all know, education is designed to teach us the tools that we will need to get the experience later on that really brings it all together. It is often not until years later that you look back on a class and say, oh, yeah, I know exactly what they mean now. And often that's followed up with a dang, I wish I would have paid more attention. But that's okay. That is why we are all lifelong learners. As designers, we want our deliverables as well as their implemented outcomes to be beautiful. And most of us spend a significant amount of time focused on the aesthetics of what we are creating. When well executed, this time translates into the client clearly seeing and understanding your vision. But not always as easily done as it is said. Some clients can see the vision with a small amount of information and do not need much handholding to understand the ideas being presented to them. On the other side, there are those that have a very difficult time understanding or visualizing the ideas until they see it right in front of them when it's already implemented. I find most of my clients land somewhere in the middle, but I try to be acutely aware of those that need more or less information and cater to them as much as I can. The clients that need the most handholding and guidance to see your vision are the ones that really build the skill of presentation in us. It is those clients that force us to really have a very solid and clear understanding and vision of those ideas. As we all know, some ideas and designs start off very loose and take more time and thought to bring them into clarity and really understand all of the intricacies. The loose vision is the most challenging to communicate, even to the most savvy design client. Your presentation starts with the design documents that you create. It does not matter if you hand draft, digitally draft, or create elaborate 3D renderings of your designs. The layout of the document you provide your client is the basis that sets the tone. There's certain information that is really important and other information that's secondary and doesn't need to be front and center. Just like the page in a book, your design will be read from upper left to lower right. The hierarchy of the information presented on the page should also follow suit. This intention can be used for laying out your sheet title block as well to ensure that both your client and the future installer can quickly, at a glance, look at the plan, navigate, and gather the information that they're looking for. Speaking of hierarchy, line weight and color need to be well thought out to ensure the readability of that design. When digitally drafting, this can be easily set up using layers with unique properties, regardless of the software that you use. I have a webinar discussing this in more detail and walking through how I set up my documents and my theory behind the colors and line weights that I choose for different aspects of my drawing. I do focus this on Land Effects because that's the software that I use. If you are interested, you can sign up on my website to be notified when classes become available. The basic principle behind it is to make those decisions and selections to create a clear and easily readable document. The outlines and primary shapes are bold, and the finite details are lighter and less aggressive in their presence on the page. The color and line weights used establish a graphic dominance and visual hierarchy that will make your drawings more easily readable and have a more beautiful aesthetic. There's a lot that we could talk about here, but really, to keep it to the basics, you really want to make sure that there's a hierarchy and that you've got the right information is the most visible. And labels should follow that same theory. They should be organized, easy to read, otherwise no one's going to read them. And then most importantly, their leader should be easy to follow, not crossing, and not too long that the eye can't trace its path. Again, we want it to be well understood easily. Having a clear, beautiful, and well thought out design and document of that design is the foundation. The next step is to be able to clearly communicate that vision and describe what that design entails. It is true that your design documents should be able to stand alone and be read without needing explanation. We could go down the rabbit hole on this, but maybe another day. The caveat to this is that the design document needs to stand alone and be read by someone with that skill set who will be bidding and or implementing it. A client who is not skilled at or maybe has never laid eyes on a site plan or a design document as such will not be able to pick up your plans and clearly understand and visualize without some guidance, and nor should they be expected to. A contractor, on the other hand, should be able to, and that is the expectation. But once presented to your client and explained, they should be able to clearly grasp the ideas so that they can make the decisions necessary to push those ideas through to implementation. Without a clear understanding of the vision, you cannot expect someone to be willing to invest in those ideas to see them constructed. And that's the end goal, anyways. Like I said before, some clients need more explanation and others need less. It is important to have a good understanding of where your client stands on this spectrum. I discussed this in a bit more detail on a previous podcast titled Communication of Design. Definitely worth checking out. I have found that the most valuable tools to presenting a design are listening and passion. Truly listening to a client's needs and the words that they're using and incorporating those key terms, touch points, and noting specific problems that you're addressing in your design will not only make for a well thought out design, but expressing that in your presentation will make sure that your client truly feels heard and understood and know that your design is catered specifically to them and their needs. It could be as simple as making sure to point out the tree strategically placed to block the window of that nosy neighbor, or clean, smooth surface of the pathway to the trash bins that they will be walking on barefoot each morning. It could be reiterating a conversation about their apprehension of the color yellow, and then pointing out the chartreuse color of the shrub that you selected, just to make sure that that color is not too yellow for them. All too often, these things are included in the thought behind the design, but not expressed explicitly. When presenting the design, it's important to make sure that your thoughts are being explained. The discussion of that thought process of the design adds another layer to your process and to your product, which further enhances the experience that you deliver to your clients. For me, the experience delivered to clients is super important. I want to make sure that they know that I have really invested a lot of time in getting to know them and trying to design a space that is what they would design if they had the same skills and knowledge. rather than just imposing my ideas and my opinions and my style on them that I would do for my own garden. Letting your passion for what you do shine through in your presentation will really add another layer to show your clients your level of excitement and commitment. And it also instills trust and builds confidence. I've felt the need to apologize a few times for nerding out a bit too much, but that's totally okay. Your clients will still love it. They will feel engaged and they will know that this is truly something that you are very passionate about and it's exciting to them, even if they don't share your same enthusiasm for the tree you've selected or the layout. They know that it's done right and done well and done with passion and a lot of thought and excitement. If you are willing to open yourself up and show them your feelings about it. The last piece worth touching on is still in regards to the presentation, but the professionalism of that presentation and your materials. Beyond the basics of professionalism, kind of the no duh of having documents free of spelling and grammatical errors, their appearance really matters too. Having presentation documents that tie in with your company branding, logos, color scheme, letterhead, all of the above can really go a long way, especially for smaller solopreneurs. Sometimes it can be easy to say, I'm just a one person show. It's just me. It can be simple, it can be basic, but it doesn't have to be just simple and basic. You can really do some really easy things that really make it look like you are a very well thought out professional business, which you are. But conveying that can sometimes take a little bit of extra thought, extra time to start with, but you can reuse those templates, reuse those ideas, reuse that scheme throughout everything. It doesn't have to be complicated. Creating a template in CAD or Word with your logo, contact information, and some key branding imagery doesn't take long. I have multiple points in my process where I deliver packets of information that are 8.5 by 11. Rather than simply stapling it and handing it over with the design plans, I have a folder that I neatly tuck everything inside of them. You can go to the expense and time to design and create custom folders, or you can do what I've done and purchase a simple folder off Amazon. And then I've purchased stickers that I put all of my branding information and my contact information on those simple folders, and they've become a beautiful part of my delivery documents. It's easy as that. And you can implement those same ideas throughout multiple touch points of your design process. Especially as a designer, the aesthetics are important every step of the way. And how you walk a client through the documents sets the tone and serves as a filter for which they digest the information provided. It's kind of like having a narrator walk you through a movie. It really sets the tone. It's like the music behind that scary movie to tell you when to feel tense. Really walking through a client and creating that experience of what they can expect once their design is implemented is a huge valuable tool. How you present and deliver your ideas builds that experience. It is one of the most valuable touch points that you have with your client. And each of those experiences built within your process builds on each other. It can prove and it can disprove to your client your knowledge, your talent, and your dedication to them as a client. So it is super important. Each client wants to feel like they are your top priority, and your presentation skills can convey that to them and let them know how important they are to you and your business, especially for those of us running small businesses. We know that each client is worth their weight and more in gold. One more thing before I let you go. don't forget to sign up to receive the free year-end planning guide. Go to my website, kismetdesignco.com, click on courses, and sign up to receive updates. I'm really excited for this, and I hope it becomes a super useful tool for your business. Be sure to sign up. It will be going out in a few short weeks. To wrap up, I want to thank you for your time. I hope the ideas discussed today have left you feeling excited and energized. As I build both my business and my life, I value the support and feedback you provide. I would love for you to reach out to me to let me know what you think, give me ideas, or just to connect. Please don't forget to subscribe and also share with a friend. Until next time, go create something wonderful.